Hello and welcome to the Gamers Table. It is Monday and we're reviewing Skyline.
This game actually was a bonus for the game Ground Floor. It was one of the overfunding bonuses.
Ah,
but we will review it as its own game because, well, it is its own game.
Mm-hmm. So then read the overview.
Read the overview. All right,
man. Game goal.
Build the best city skyline by grouping dice and constructing buildings in order to score the most points. Dice are rolled and placed in columns by type. Each column of dice represents a building. The taller the building, the more points it's worth. The more a player builds, the higher their score. The player with the best skyline wins.
It's a fairly simple game, but you got it hasn't anything more than it needs. There's the main explanation of everything you can do with your round marker printed on both sides so you can't mess that up. And you've got your different types of dice. And you just grab one from whichever section you want. Take out the 3 dice or whatever's in the pile there if Ken hasn't gotten to them before you.
You got your 3 different color types of buildings here. It tells you the minimum and maximum of how high you can build them. And you've got your points depending on how high the building is that you built. And this is the one. This is the 36 pointer here. If someone manages to build the highest orange building on their turn, game ends after the end of that round, right?
Yeah, at the end of the round.
At the end of the round.
So the player who goes last always gets to go last.
Either that or it goes by rounds. Oops. Fumble. Oh.
So there are 3 different types of dice. There are the base dice that all have the line on the bottom of the building and then 3 different colors.
It's a building base.
Yes, not all our base belong to us.
Right.
There's the middle sections that can go up as high as the buildings show on the chart. Or, for the purple buildings, these are also the caps, because a purple building can only go a maximum of 2 dice high. And then there is the 3rd type of die, which are the caps for the orange and the blue dice. And these ones have some blank faces. 3 of the 6 faces are blank, so 50-50 chance that you're getting nothing when you roll one of those dice. So you're taking a chance when you take one of these.
Caps, top floor,
but they're the only way you can cap off the mid-rise or the high-rise buildings.
Yep.
So
right.
You kind of have to try to roll those. On the start of your turn, you take any 3 dice you want from the construction yard, or you take whatever dice there are in the abandoned district. You roll them. You use at least 1. If you have any dice remaining, you roll them. Use at least 1 or send it to the abandoned district, and then you roll the last one if you have one left. And you either use it on your buildings or it goes to the abandoned district. Super simple. If you create a building, you get a handy token so as to not use up all the dice. The game goes till 9 rounds or until the round that somebody builds the 6 height high rise. At the start of the game, at the end of every round, you make sure you refill the abandoned district. It's a ground, a mid, and a penthouse dice on it, and any dice that throughout the round that people, because you always roll the dice and you have to play at least 1. If you can't play 1 or choose not to, then you put 1 to the abandoned district. Then whoever has a turn next can maybe choose the abandoned district because it's got 4 dice as opposed to 3. Yeah, Ken normally takes them like every single time.
Yeah, you don't want to sit after me in this game.
But
it's just the timing. Yeah.
That's pretty much the game. So you take the dice, you roll the dice, you take your actions, and then if you need to, you roll the dice again.
Wrapping up Skyline. Theme. No. Buildings. You do dice and stacking them up based by color. Not much building.
What are you talking about?
Buildings of the buildings. And easy to play. Very, very, very easy to play.
Can you roll a dice? Can you roll a dice?
Can you match up the colors? If you're colorblind, you might have a little bit of trouble with this. Though the number of windows on all the buildings is different, so even if you couldn't tell the colors apart, you could still tell building from building.
That's true. There's 9 on the orange, 6 on there, and 1 on the purple.
Purple gets shafted again.
Yeah.
And fun to play. Yeah, for a quick filler game, might take you 10, 15 minutes maybe, or maybe a little longer depending on how many people are and how long they
Take the roll the dice.
I could use that one, but I don't want to use that one.
Roll
But that one there could combine
Oh, there
there.
we go. Yeah.
I give Skyline a 6.
It's roll, use a dice, roll again. There's not a huge amount of control you have in this. Obviously, if you ending the game as early as you can is probably to your advantage if you can. You want to get the 6 high building, and because that's worth 36 points. It's a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a simple dice family game. It says right there in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that has got to be so.
It's got to be so because we know this guy can write good rule books, and this is no exception. I give Skyline a 5.
It is a pretty simple game. You're just rolling the dice. You get 3, or maybe if there's more in the abandoned district, you can grab those. You might have more choice.
Or if you can, you'll take them anyways.
Yeah, well, possibly. No, I usually grab them when it's to my advantage. But anyway, which
Like
is
every
usually
time.
often. But anyway, it just came down to a timing thing. But you've got at least some strategy with choice of which dice you want to grab. You know, if you got about 4 buildings out there already you're working on, I don't see any point in grabbing the bases. Grab the middle level ones, or what do you call it, the penthouse dice or something like that. We're not sure if you can get it other than getting it with ground floor at the moment. I haven't looked it up online. I guess nobody else did, so we're not sure how else you can get it for the moment. But hopefully it will come out on shelves because it's not a bad little game. And you know, other than trying to get that orange building, the highest one, there was 6 stories. It comes down to who's got the best buildings at the end. Was it 9 rounds? 9 rounds, yeah. So it's a pretty simple game, just a nice little filler, time waster, but it's fun. I like it. Just a 5 for me because it's just a little too simple, too quick, not much to it.
That's it for this episode of the Gamers Table. Tune in next week where we review another game.
Guys, that's what we do.
Get out of here.
It's one small step for man,